Good morning, Syracuse. I'm Nicole Dementry. Thanks for joining us this morning for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Sarah Perks. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about over the next hour.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, local survivors of sexual assault and abuse speak out through art.
Some SU students are practicing their pitching, but not from the diamond, but from the stage. We'll explain.
And kids in Syracuse head to the bowling alley for a special cause, how they're making a change for the better in the local community.
All that plus your weekend forecast and the latest on the SU softball doubleheader, just ahead on Mornings on the Hill.
Okay. Okay.
Hello?
And that is the reaction of Gufran Salih and Kyle Rosenblum shortly after receiving the good news.
Yes, the pair won Student Association President and Vice President spots for the 2018-2019 academic school year.
Salih and Rosenblum say they are eager to begin their term and hope the 5 pillars they campaigned will become reality.
I want to make sure that essay is accessible to all students, and that all students know what essay is, because I've met people who don't know what essay is, and I'm like, oh, no, we should talk about that.
And the two have already started some initiatives alongside current SA President James Franco and Vice President Angie Patty.
Our own Caitlin Pearson will have more about the duo in your next half hour.
And SU alum and honorary trustee Martin J. Whitman has died at the age of 93. Whitman came to Syracuse on the GI Bill after serving in the Navy during World War II.
He graduated magna cum laude in 1949 with a degree in business administration and went on to a successful career in the field of investment management. In 2003, the 160,000 square foot School of Management building was named after Whitman.
Now, Whitman taught classes and led seminars at Syracuse and will be missed by the entire SU community. And switching gears, for more than 2 decades, Vera House has been working here in Central New York to raise awareness about domestic violence and sexual assault. One of the ways they do this is with the Clothesline Project.
Our Liliana Pearson joins us in studio to tell us more.
The Clothesline Project was recently displayed at Destiny USA Mall. The project is all about sexual assault survivors expressing themselves.
The Clothesline Project was started in Massachusetts as a way to bring awareness to sexual assault survivors. It's grown and been a yearly event in Syracuse for over 20 years.
It was originally started by the Rape Crisis Center, but when the Rape Crisis Center and Vera House merged, it's a program that continued on and is still going strong today.
The shirts are made by residents in the area, willing to share their story, some anonymously, while some put a face to the story of sexual assault.
We actually had survivors that came and talked about the Me Too movement, and people are coming out and speaking out. I think it's really giving them a chance to find their voice.
The Clothesline Project illustrates the fact that it's not only women who suffer.
It's a whole range. It's men, it's women, there are children who have all been affected by sexual abuse or sexual assault who are making these shirts, and it gives them a platform.
Pooler said she hopes the installment will encourage residents to volunteer with Vera House and normalize talking about sexual assault and abuse.
Pooler says the Clothesline Project is displayed each year around the same time in April, but you can learn more between now and then by visiting verahouse.org. Reporting live, I'm Liliana Pearson for Mornings on the Hill.
And it's time to check on your weather today. We've had plenty of spring showers, and hopefully it's going to bring May flowers, but is it ever going to be sunny, Omneya?
Well, I really hope so. There may be some sunshine coming in the next few days. Omneya Abushka is live on University Ave to tell us more about what to expect.
Well, it's feeling very, very cold out here right now. The current temperature is around 36 degrees, but it feels a lot chillier than that. And we're going to take a look at our 5-day forecast now. Today there's a high of 44 and a low of 32 with a slight chance of scattered showers. And Thursday is going to be a bit colder with a high of 36 and a low of 31 with a much higher chance of seeing some rain. And Friday is back up with a high of 38 and a low of 30, and you can expect a mix of rain and snow on Friday, unfortunately. And the sun's going to make its comeback for the weekend with a high of 46 and a low of 29 on Saturday, and a beautiful sunny Sunday with a high of 50 and a low of 31. So it was a bit rough we had a bit of a rough end to the week, but it's looking like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, so be sure to try and get outside and leave those winter coats at home. Reporting live on University Avenue for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Umnea Bushnab. Back to you.
And Sarah, March Madness may be over, but some SU students are preparing for a national competition of a different kind.
Our Jose Cuevas is live in studio with more.
This competition isn't on the baseball diamond, but on the stage. U.S. advertising students are sharpening their pitching skills as they prepare to face off with other elite schools. The competition is known as the National Student Advertising Competition, or NSAC for short, and it is run by the American Advertising Federation. Yesterday, the students who will represent Syracuse University did a dress rehearsal of sorts to prepare for the rigorous competition. The students will have to prepare an advertising campaign for a real-world client and successfully pitch it to a group of judges. Due to the strict regulations of the competition, we could not film the pitch or talk about what was presented. These students have been preparing for months under the tutelage of Professor Brian Sheehan, who created a class to assist in the preparation for the competition. He recognizes that the competition will be tough, but says that Newhouse has done particularly well in past years.
Since 2009, we've twice gone to the finals. In 2009, we won the whole competition nationally. I believe it was 2011 or 12 we came in second nationally.
The current team hopes to continue the success of previous classes. Beyond the competitiveness and prestige, Professor Sheehan says that the competition gives advertising students real-world experience preparing advertising campaigns for real clients. He says the competition helps them market themselves to prospective employers. Sheehan also notes that previous students who have competed ended up with more than one job offer. The students will travel to New York City later this week for the competition. Best of luck to them and the rest of the schools, as they are certainly getting some really great experience. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Jose Cuevas for Mornings on the Hill.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, kids in Syracuse come together for a special cause.
And they're not the only ones. A bowling alley is making a significant difference in the local community. We'll tell you how coming up in 2 minutes.
Also coming up, how closely do you look at SU's budget? Well, you might want to pay attention. The $70,000 total cost may go down. We'll explain.
And don't touch that clicker. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. As most of us have heard, SU's tuition is expected to increase by nearly 4% this upcoming year.
However, the new budget includes a $100 million investment for students by Invest Syracuse.
The university says the investment will redefine the student experience, advance discovery and innovation, and expand opportunities. Yet some students are not happy about the increased cost of attendance.
In terms of what my tuition is paying for, I definitely don't take advantage of all of the different enhancements Syracuse University has to offer. So why am I paying for those is kind of my question.
In addition, financial aid is expecting to increase by 6.5% over what was distributed last year, totaling around $264 million.
Now, Sarah, did you know that a lot of SU professors are also authors?
Yes, I heard that. And yesterday, the Humanities Center celebrated those faculty who wrote books in the humanities last year.
The event featured more than 50 titles published by SU professors and staff. The books were displayed and available for purchase. The authors were all in attendance to talk about their work and even signed copies.
Georgia Popoff was one of the featured authors last night. Her book, The Whiskey of Our Discontent, is an anthology of essays on the poet Gwendolyn Brooks. Popoff says that after 2 years of hard work, holding the book in her hands for the first time was unbelievable.
I tremble, you know, a lot of work, a lot of really fabulous essays.
Popoff says it's great to see all the hard work of our colleagues being celebrated by the university. Now, if you see some of these books on your course syllabus, that's because some of the professors may have been shopping around.
As the school year comes to a close and SU students begin looking for flights to return home for the summer, some will need to be cautious when choosing an airline.
Allegiant Air has been accused of being the most dangerous airline in the U.S., according to a new report featured on CBS 60 Minutes.
The low-cost carrier's safety record is under scrutiny after the report cited more than 100 serious mechanical incidents in the last 2 years. These issues included smoke and fumes in the cabin, flight control malfunctions, and hydraulic leaks. The airline has operated at Syracuse Hancock Airport since 2013.
The airline defended its safety record in a statement Sunday, explaining that the incidents reported have all been addressed by the Federal Aviation Administration. Representatives for the Allegiant Air in Syracuse declined to comment after the matter.
And he may be too good at goodbyes, but this celebrity was seen saying hello around Syracuse this past weekend.
Yes, our very own Alyssa Candiati saw him while out on a run with her friend, along with many others who now have similar stories. Christine Morton has the scoop and joins us live now.
Yes, that's right, ladies. Sam Smith was sighted here in the Syracuse area. Many people, if you can see here, why is Sam Smith in Syracuse? And going off that, many people actually were trying to track him down. You got some funny tweets here. You can see people were excited. Sam Smith is in Syracuse. I just sobbed. I'm deceased, paralyzed, done. Very funny. Right here, if we go, he was seen at Wegmans, he was seen at Destiny USA, and one girl actually was told to get out of the shower because her friend was like, Sam Smith's here, he might be walking his dog down the block, was very excited. And he also talked a little bit about how cold it's been here in Syracuse, New York, and he wasn't actually a fan. So if you see here, he's pictured right here. Sam Smith made his debut here in Syracuse, New York. So we're very happy that he got to stop by, and that is all for Orange Social. I'm Christine Morton. Back to you.
Some great stuff there. Now, some kids in the Syracuse community came together for a very special cause this weekend, both to raise money and have a little fun.
Our Alyssa Candiati is live in the newsroom with more.
That's right. Kids in Syracuse were especially excited to head to the bowling alley this weekend. The lanes filled up quickly on Sunday at Flamingo Bowl in Liverpool with community members who came out for a very special cause.
The morning was off to a great start at Flamingo Bowl in Liverpool.
Hey, that was beautiful.
But on April 15th, it wasn't just an average trip to the bowling alley. Children of all ages came together for the annual Bowl for Kids' Sake event. The fundraiser held by Big Brothers Big Sisters in Syracuse raises money for kids in need and keeps children positive about the possibilities of their future.
Everybody's walk of life is a little bit different. No matter what you're handed, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this. We're all going to get through it together.
That's why the program pairs children with older mentors, friendships that many say will last a lifetime.
If you get really close with them, it's just a bond that you have with them.
I'm a former little brother myself. I had a big brother who did a lot for me, and thanks to the things that he showed me, the things that he did for me and with me, I'm here today. We as mentors actually end up being mentored by the littles.
For the children here today, it's all about having fun and some friendly competition too.
The day-long event featured food, face paint, and raffles.
Next raffle will be at 3:30.
Keeping kids entertained and encouraging others to get involved.
They're the future. So if we can create something better for them, that also helps them as they get older to help create something better for somebody else.
Many kids say they're already looking forward to bowling again next year.
Sake event. You know, it isn't until 2019 the children and their mentors will be spending time together doing other fun activities around Syracuse. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Alyssa Candiati for Mornings on the Hill.
The recent revelation that a former SU student planned a mass shooting on campus has shaken many in our community.
The university waited to tell the students about the plot. So what does the SA president think about the delay? Our Zach Staten is live in studio this morning with the reaction.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. And I'm joined now this morning by Student Association President James Franco. James, we'll get to everything that they just talked about in a moment, but this is your last semester as president. How does that feel?
Bittersweet, but I'm definitely ready to transition to what's next. It's been a good year.
Been a good year. That's good. Let's start off. Let's begin with the university not notifying students straight away about the investigation before it was reported by Syracuse.com. Yeah. Do you know of any reasons as to why that delay actually happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So we met with the university post this, trying to find out why post kind of removal of the student from the United States and pre-Syracuse.com story. A couple reasons. A, since no crime was actually committed, there's no public record for it. It's like commenting on an OSRR case, so a conduct case for students, which we don't do for all those that happen. Second, they were asked not to speak by other law enforcement agencies, including federal law enforcement. So they were told not to be the first one to speak until, as we saw, SPD spoke. And then just going off of that, like I said, just overall, there really was no immediate threat to the community at the time, which was lucky, and I'm very thankful for that. But the explanation that they had kind of gave made sense, because they didn't know it was coming out that Friday, or that Thursday, I believe, and I think it just kind of surprised everyone. They said that they would wish to have sent out an email earlier if they could have, but it just couldn't work out this time.
What's the response been from students about the way the investigation was handled?
Yeah, so I think students are really thankful to law enforcement agencies in the area. It truly was a mixture of skill and talent by so many different collaborative agencies, along with some luck along the way, if you saw the story. I think students are thankful. They're thankful for the communication. Just wish it could have came a little bit earlier, but I don't think I could have in this situation.
And luckily enough, too, that student is no longer enrolled at Syracuse University as well. So let's move forward from there. You recently talked at a meeting about the security cameras that were installed on Euclid Avenue. Just from a very preliminary standpoint, what have the initial results been like so far?
Yeah, so it's pretty early, so it's not known if it's causation, correlation, whatever it may be, but 2016 crime in like 8 different categories in the Euclid area, total to about 53 incidents. There were 26 in 2017, which is a pretty dramatic drop. So whether you want to attribute that to a few different things, either way, at the end of the day, that's good for the safety and for peace of mind of students who live in that area and traverse that every day.
Maybe in about 20 seconds or so, can you tell us just a little bit if there's any other ideas that the university is thinking about to maybe improve some campus security?
Yeah, so we've talked about either maybe expanding that or maybe target hardening, which is just a fancy word for increasing lighting, brushing back hedges, which just leads to as a cost-effective way to decrease crime. So we'll be pursuing these in the final few weeks and transitioning that to next year's administration.
Well, I'm sure that's going to make a lot of people feel much more secure.
I hope
so.
so.
That's James Franco. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, we've all heard the big names like Rihanna, Drake, and of course Beyonce. But did you know that they don't write all of their own songs? Well, one SU student is setting himself apart with his own music. Stay with us. That story and more just ahead.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, to some, University Village is just an apartment complex, but for one Syracuse University student, his apartment doubles as a recording studio.
Our Billy Owens joins us live in the studio with more on the story.
Thank you, Nicole and Sarah. From banging on high school lunch tables to creating beats in his own college apartment, Phil Daniels, also known as Phil the Artist, has received over 100,000 plays on SoundCloud. Phil Daniels left LaGuardia High School to enroll into Syracuse University. He was leaving one thing behind in the classroom: his access to music every day.
And I think kind of losing playing piano every day made me want to start making my own music, because I could just do it in my dorm and stuff. So I got a little keyboard and I just started producing. And after that, it just kept going and going.
Phil, who has 15 years of classical piano training, took his talent and love for all music to become Phil the Artist. He's able to create majority of his songs from the comfort of his own campus apartment.
I mean, it's very personal. So, whenever you're doing whatever your art form is, it's always going to be the best when you're by yourself. So it helps for me not to have to go to a huge studio or whatever. I can really just record, make a beat, do whatever right here in my room. So
Phil likes to focus more on the production aspect of his craft.
In terms of my vocals and actually rapping, I never used to rap in high school. I was never that kid who was oh, I got bars. Nah, I never rap. I'd maybe help out with making the beat on the table at lunch or something like that.
Since the cafeteria days, Phil has now chosen to rap and sing. He has even opened up for major artists such as PNB Rock and 21 Savage. Phil doesn't want to lose touch with his music again, and that's why his plans remain the same.
I think Phil the Artist is kind of an escape for me. It's if I'm gonna be Phil the Artist, I'm gonna just be Phil the Artist. That's what I'm gonna be after I graduate. I'm gonna dictate what I do. So that's what I hope for.
As Phil the Artist continues to produce music, you can find his latest songs on SoundCloud. Reporting live in studio, I'm Billy Owens for Mornings on the Hill.
Thanks, Billy. And now our 10:30 hosts, Allison and Sarah, join us here on the couch. And finally this half hour, the Pulitzer Prize winners were announced earlier this week, and one winner is making history, guys.
That's right, Kendrick Lamar became the first rap artist to win the Pulitzer Prize in Music for his 2017 album, Damn. It's the first time the prize was given to an artist outside of classical or jazz music.
Pretty cool stuff. This album won Kendrick 5 Grammys, and we were lucky enough to actually have Kendrick perform here at SU during Juice Jam in 2013. I think it's so cool that we had him, you know, sort of before he really made a huge splash on the music scene. We always seem to get a couple of these artists before they make it big. We had Post at one time.
Travis Scott.
Another
big one.
We also
Go
had
Syracuse.
Yeah. They all seem
You guys
to,
are ahead of the time. We're all ahead of the time.
Yeah, they all seem to come here to Syracuse, so it's pretty awesome.
We're really good at
And
swinging.
congratulations to Kendrick.
Yes,
such a
cultural
amazing.
milestone.
I saw him a couple
Exactly.
years ago. He's a fantastic performer.
Exactly. Well, and that's all going to do all for us this morning. I'm Nicole Dementry. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts. That means Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Mornings on the Hill for your latest morning updates.
Absolutely. I'm Sarah Perks. Don't go away. Mornings on the Way continues right after this break.
Good morning, I'm Allison Caliguire. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Sarah Bonadies. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about in our second half hour.
We already heard from the new Student Association leadership. Now we'll meet the volunteers behind the winning team.
SU considers a ban on personal student-professor relationships outside the classroom. We'll explain.
And as the end of the semester approaches, many students are trying to figure out where to store their stuff for the summer.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
To lead off this half hour, if you were with us at the 10 o'clock show, you already know that Gufran Salih has been announced as the new president of the Student Association here at Syracuse.
But who are the people that stood behind her throughout the election process and helped her make her success possible? Our own Caitlin Pearson got to sit down with two members of the campaign team to get that inside look. Caitlin?
Good morning, guys. Just down these stairs and around the corner is the home of the Student Association here on campus. And for the GNK for SA team, the new home for the Why Not Now movement. I had the chance to sit down with the team and find out how that message led their path to victory. Some get involved in on-campus campaigns because of their interests.
I'm a Maxwell student, so I obviously love politics a lot, and I think SA is a great way to bridge the gap between students and the administration.
Others do it to support their close friends.
Running this campaign with the two of them only got all of us a lot closer.
But whatever the reason, running a campaign on a college campus is no simple task.
Student government is not something that people know, I think, enough about. And so my goal was making sure that people felt connected to Gufran and Kyle as people first, and then they would pursue looking into their platforms and the things that they stand for.
And what tool was perfect for this year's campaign?
College students are go, 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 and social media is a way for us to integrate what Gufran and Kyle stand for and the platform and the campaign into their lives.
The team says the meetings always started very simply at a dining room table with a pot of coffee and hearts full of passion.
It's just a very validating experience, but it's also, I'm remarkably proud of them.
I mean, it's amazing to me. I think Gufran is the best person for the job. She is one of the most compassionate, friendly people I've ever met. She's gonna be someone who isn't afraid to push people's buttons if it means that she's gonna help the majority of the students.
Taking a hands-on approach to democracy and coming out victorious for this team leaves nothing but smiles. Now, the team members are unsure about their involvement in SA during Gufran's term, but with their drive and commitment to the Why Not Now movement, they know they can accomplish anything. Live from the Shine Student Center, Caitlin Pearson for Mornings on the Hill.
Time for another check on your weather for today. Well, we saw some snow yesterday here in Central New York, even though it's April, and some of it even stuck around.
Omnea Abushanab is live outside on our weather deck to show us what to expect and whether this gloomy weather will stick around.
Thank you, Allison and Sarah. Yes, it is quite chilly out here right now. As you can see, there is a little bit of gusts of wind. The current temperature is at 36 degrees, but it does feel a lot colder than that. That is expected to change going into the weekend, so let's take a look at that 5-day forecast. Today there's a high of 44 and a low of 32 with a slight chance of scattered showers. And Thursday's going to be a bit colder with a high of 36 and a low of 31 with a much higher chance of seeing some rain. And Friday's back up with a high of 38 and a low of 30. And you can expect a mix of rain and snow, unfortunately, on Friday. But the weekend is looking way better. The sun's going to be out with a high of 46 and a low of 29 on Saturday. And then a beautiful spring Sunday with a high of 50 and a low of 31. It felt a lot more like winter this week, but we are getting that spring weather back this weekend with some sunshine and beautiful skies. And you can expect to be outside and enjoying that weather while it lasts, hopefully. Reporting on University Avenue, live from Mornings on the Hill, I'm Umnea Bushnab. Back to you in the studio.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month here on SU's campus.
The Office of Health Promotions, alongside various campus organizations, have organized student and faculty events to raise awareness about dating violence.
Health Promotion Specialist Michelle Good hopes that even after the month is over, the conversation continues.
So for us, it's really about helping to promote more awareness, maybe for students who haven't really thought of or haven't been thinking of sexual violence lately.
As the month winds down, there are still 2 more events: Tenders and Trivia this evening at 6 p.m. in Sims Hall 331, and Trauma-Informed Yoga on Monday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. at 335 Whitehall.
More information about the month can be found on healthpromotion.syr.edu. And as a part of Sexual Awareness Month, relationships between students and faculty at Syracuse University are the focus of discussion.
Tonight, a faculty senate meeting will take place where senators are planning to urge Chancellor Syverud to ban all sexual relationships between faculty and undergraduate students. The proposal is being brought to the chancellor by several Senate members after Syverud announced a review of the university's policy on sexual relationships in his winter address earlier this year.
But some students believe, ban or no ban, sexual relationships may still occur.
I think it's a good idea. I don't know if it'll necessarily benefit the university because at the end of the day, you can make bans as much as you want, but people are going to do what they want to do.
Currently, the university bans sexual relationships between faculty and undergraduates only if the faculty member advises, supervises, or teaches the student.
Sigma Alpha Mu is the latest social fraternity on campus to be suspended by the university following a hazing investigation.
The university released this statement. We are showing it on your screen, saying in part, quote, Syracuse University has a zero-tolerance policy for hazing and is committed to fostering a safe and healthy community.
Now, SAMI is the 3rd social fraternity to be suspended this year alone. The first suspension was Delta Tau Delta in the fall for hazing, and Alpha Epsilon Pi was suspended in February after breaching student safety during the new member process. Now, 9 Greek organizations in total are currently banned at SU.
As the end of the semester approaches, students have to prepare to move out of their campus housing. Summer storage options tend to be pricey and can be difficult to find if you wait too long.
One popular choice for students without cars is Lazy Bones. They offer pickup and drop-off once all your items are packed up for storage. One sophomore we talked to wishes there were more options.
As a sophomore, for the past 2 years, I've been taking all my stuff back home with me. And it is a struggle, so it would definitely be nice for the future incoming freshmen and students to have the option of leaving their stuff on campus.
Students have to clear out all items from campus housing at the end of the semester and will only be allowed to keep items in campus housing if they are completing a Maymester or summer courses.
First-year students are preparing for college finals for the first time while reflecting back on their freshman year, both the good and the bad.
Our Gianna Estorito joins us live now with more.
Thank you, Sarah and Allison. For many of us seniors, it's amazing to think that freshman year was so long ago, and as graduation approaches, we reflect on our past 4 years. But the first year for the class of 2021 is coming to an end, and I spoke with some of the students about their experiences this year.
College is a huge adjustment, but one that some are already prepared for.
I used to go to summer camp for 7.5 weeks, so I never got homesick. To this day, I don't get homesick because, I call my mom every day, though, and I love her a lot, and I love my dad, and I love my family, but I never, miss home.
And for others, the adjustment helped their personal growth.
Just being so far away from home and being on your own
it really like forces you to grow up and forces you to realize things and just act more mature.
And as the freshman's first year comes to a close, students' observations of the campus are different from before.
It's like there's so many people that you meet new people all the time, but like you also walk around and like everywhere you go you see someone you know.
And while there are so many reasons to enjoy freshman year, a lot of freshmen said that the hardest part were the long treks from their freshman dorms to main campus, especially in this weather in the month of April.
Terrible. In the summertime or in the fall, it's too hot and you sweat when you walk, and then in the wintertime it's really cold and you don't want to walk anywhere. But it keeps you kind of fit, I guess. I mean, you know.
And as enjoyable as the first year may be, it is also a reality.
Freshman year, it's kind of when life hits you, like, and you realize that it's going to be at this constant rate for the rest of your life, and it's scary, but it's still necessary.
And despite some of the minor speed bumps within freshman year, all the students that I spoke to were a little sad that their first year was coming to a close and that they were already looking forward to the fall semester. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Gianna Astorito.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, we'll be talking about the first ever student-run hacking event and how a few Syracuse University students came up with the idea to bring people of all backgrounds together.
Also, the nation's pastime is becoming more accessible to people of Central New York. Stay with us for those stories and much more here on Mornings on the Hill.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. I'm Alexis Scott. We're joined this morning by some of the creators for the CUSE Hacks event, Caitlin Sanders and Jerry Mandigat. Thank you both for coming up this morning and talking to me about what's going on with the CUSE Hacks event. So one of my first questions that I would love to ask is, how did you guys come up with this idea?
So for those who don't know what a hackathon is, it's a 24-hour invention marathon where people can learn how to build and code different apps and different services. So I attended several hackathons around the Northeast region at different colleges, and people would always ask me, why isn't there not a hackathon here at Syracuse University? So I was like, I don't know why. So I got some students, and I got Caitlin and some other like engineering and computer science students, and we just decided to start this thing here.
That's awesome. And so please tell me what makes this event different from any other hacking event that's been going on this year.
So for this hackathon, we wanted to open it for everyone, whether that be high schoolers, people not with like coding experience, anything. So we have different workshops throughout the event to help with that.
Good. And what will participants be learning how to do exactly? Because I have no coding experience. I don't know what to do if you put me in front of a computer and you try to get me to do something like that. So what are some of the things that people will be learning?
So some people will be learning maybe to build their first website, so how to use HTML and CSS. And some of like the services like IBM or Google have services that you actually don't need to learn how to know how to code to be able to make something great, like maybe a conversation bot or like something that uses machine learning. Like there is no need to code. You can just go on their platform, use their services, and like be able to make the most incredible things that you think you wouldn't be able to do.
So tell me, one is one of the easiest things someone can make and maybe one of the hardest things that someone can make.
It's kind of hard to say what could be easiest and hardest. It depends really what skill set you're coming from. Like maybe you're coming from design, maybe you're coming from like a technical skill, and maybe you're coming from an entrepreneurial business standpoint. But like some of the most like craziest things that I've seen is I've seen someone really make a website with Amazon Alexa commands. So you would say, hey Amazon, Alexa, build me a website, and it would build them a website right there. And you would say all the constraints. One of the easiest things I've seen is like making like a small website that like detects your emotions and like shows GIFs that like relates to the emotions, and it really isn't that hard to do.
You hear that, guys? Anybody can create something when you go to CUSE Hacks. So my last question to you guys is, could you just give me something or a phrase in regards to what do you want people to take away from this event?
So we want people to just have fun, but we also would want people to create something because it's so amazing, an incredible feeling to create something in just 24 hours and imagine what you could do past 24 hours.
Well, that's awesome. The CUSE Hackathon will take place on April 21st from 10 a.m. through April 22nd at 1 p.m. All you have to do is register at the Cuse Hex website. Thank you all for joining us. It's Mornings on the Hill. I'm Alexis Scott. Back to Sarah and Allison at the news desk.
Thanks, Alexis. Tomorrow marks the 70th anniversary of Israel's Declaration of Independence.
The Syracuse chapter of Hillel celebrated a little early out in the quad yesterday with their first ever Israel Fest.
So we're out here celebrating, so we've got a ton of stuff inside. We've got henna, we've got a Hamsa coloring station, we've got food.
Very much like our own Independence Day, Lemon says it's a tradition in Israel to celebrate its independence with a barbecue. Students who attended the event had the opportunity to participate in a number of different activities, all meant to engage Jewish students and the rest of the Jewish community.
Now, next time you go to Gem Diner in Syracuse, you may see some new faces on the walls.
The popular local diner unveiled some new murals last week featuring players from the Challenger Baseball League, which is a league made for children with disabilities.
I mean, the murals obviously recognize the kids in Challenger Baseball, which is an amazing thing. People that come in and see these and ask about it and giving us amazing donations to keep this program going.
The lone son is disabled, and when he heard about the team, was inspired to help in any way he could. Malone hopes by putting up murals in his diner, customers will be encouraged to donate the league. That gives everyone the opportunity to be part of a team, regardless of ability. We'll have more on the league and the community fundraising effort coming up next in sports.
Good morning, I'm Epiphany Catling with your Orange Sports Update here on Mornings on the Hill. As you just saw, Challenger Baseball is a local baseball league for children and adults with disability. There are nearly 270 athletes ranging from 8 years old to 60 in the league. Don Cambreri is the director of Challenger Baseball. He and his wife Valerie have a child with disabilities.
Well, we knew that he needed to have some physical activity, especially during the summertime.
Challenger Baseball began to grow, but the team was sharing a field with the regular Little League team, so scheduling was an issue. Don realized Challenger needed a new location.
I've got this idea, about building this multi-field complex.
And that's where the plan for the Field of Dreams began. The community rallied to raise more than $5 million for one of the first fully accessible ballparks.
Our families walked in, and they go down the main center aisleway, and they realize there's like no impediments for our children. It's easy for them to get to.
Being able to play on the Field of Dreams meant a lot to the Cambreri's son, Domenico.
It was the most exciting event of my life as I experienced a wonderful field with my friends.
Keeping Challenger Baseball running is a community effort. A local diner owner put murals of the team all around his restaurant to bring awareness to the league.
It's like the best feel-good charitable organization that I've ever been involved with.
The Challenger Baseball family got together for the mural reveal. Taylor is one of the athletes featured in it.
Wow, what is that like? Is that cool?
Yes, it's like amazing.
Allie plays on the adult team, and she says she loves Challenger Baseball and the new field.
It's a real dream come true. That's what it's all about. It's like a real dream come true.
What started out as just a dream turned into a reality for generations to come. The Challenger Baseball season begins next month. On Saturday, Syracuse football had its spring football game. Before the game, coaches and players met with the media and fans to answer questions. Quarterback Rex Culpepper was diagnosed with testicular cancer in March and found out that it spread to his lymph nodes. He is currently between rounds of chemo, but that did not stop him from coming into the game. During the last drive, Rex threw a touchdown pass, ending the preview game. On Instagram, Rex announced that his cancer is very treatable and he will go through chemo in Syracuse and Florida. Coming off of a loss, the Syracuse men's lacrosse team managed to beat UNC this past weekend, but that did not stop them from falling in the coaches and media poll. The Orange went from number 6 to 9, barely staying in the top 10. Some good news for them, this is their second straight year that they have been undefeated in conference. They play number 16 Navy on Saturday, and next Friday will be the start of the ACC tournament. Syracuse softball has a doubleheader against Niagara this afternoon. The first game is at 3 p.m. and the second is scheduled to begin around 5. The Orange are coming off of an unusually long break. They haven't played in 4 days because their scheduled doubleheader yesterday was canceled due to the weather. That's your sports update. I'm Epiphany Catling. Coming up next, we have an inside look at how a student gets paid to become art. That plus a look at your weekend plans after the break.
Welcome back. Our sports update might be over, but this may as well be a sport in itself.
Our own Odeya Pincus joins us now with one of the more interesting ways to make money on campus.
Thanks, guys. All right, everyone, try making a pose like this. Okay, now try holding that pose for an entire hour. Did you know that that's a campus job? I spoke to one student who gets paid to be art.
Caitlin Sanders is a model student and tutor.
We go to high schools and we teach STEM subjects to middle schoolers.
But in her spare time, the freshman computer science major is a different type of model.
Gesture drawings.
Sanders works as a model for the Syracuse University Art Department, where she poses for art classes.
It can range from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. Usually they have breaks, but sometimes it can be like an hour without a break.
She says she stretches before beginning to pose.
You keep your mind active. You can think a lot. It's not as bad as you think.
The models are sometimes clothed and sometimes nude. She says that at first it was nerve-wracking.
The first time I was terrified, to be honest. I was so scared to drop the robe.
But she describes the experience as empowering.
It's really good for body positivity and just in general, you kind of have the power and everyone is so respectful. It's art to them. They don't see you as a person in a body. They see you as lines and shapes.
She says it's cool to see different interpretations of yourself.
Seeing the actual art and seeing yourself as art, it's an incredible feeling.
For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Odeya Pincus.
Now, I know I could not stay still for that long, but if you think you can, Sanders says the art department is always looking for more models. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Odeya Pincus.
I'm Christine Morton, and here's what's going on this weekend here on the Hill. Tomorrow, SU is hosting a Women in Business and Media event at 3:30 in the Hall of Languages. The event focuses on the importance of gender and racial diversity in these industries. Start off your day with some dancing and music as Feel Good Friday Zumba or Yoga at 12:15 in the Shine Center. After you work up that sweat and take a shower, head on down to Jabberwocky Cafe to cheer on your friends as they take the stage for the SASE Talent Show at 5:30. SU hosts its first student-run hackathon on Saturday. Q's Hacks is a 24-hour hacking event of uncovering websites, hardware projects, and more. Free games and food will be provided. If electronics aren't your thing, head over to the Carrier Dome for the SU lacrosse game. They're taking on 16th ranked Navy at 2 p.m. And on Sunday, if you happen to miss that SU men's team play lacrosse, you can cheer on the last home game for the SU women's lacrosse team at 2 p.m. against Louisville. And that's Weekends on the Hill for this week. I'm Christine Morton. Ladies?
Over the weekend, celebrities and what seemed like everyone except SU students gathered for Coachella.
But it quickly turned into Baychella when Beyonce became the first African-American woman to headline the show. She was scheduled to headline last year's show but had to cancel for the birth of her twins. Single ladies sipped lemonade and many felt deja vu by a surprise performance by Destiny's Child.
And even though her performance happened a few days ago, it's something people are still talking about and will remember for a lifetime. I know I will.
I mean, she's an icon, and there's just nothing else to say about it.
She is queen.
She is. And I saw her a couple years ago, and it's not just hype, it's real.
I would do anything to see Beyonce live.
Incredible.
Women empowerment.
Yeah.
Same, exactly.
All about it.
Well, hopefully we'll get the chance soon. That is going to do it for us this Wednesday here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Allison Calabar. Follow us on Twitter at Morning on the Hill for all your latest updates.
And I'm Sarah Bonadies. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday for our last show of the semester at 10 a.m. here on OTN.
It's our last show.